Hi everyone, Hayley here. I wanted to talk to you today about compassion, our hearts, and the nervous system. As much as I'm all about channeling, energy work, consciousness, and all things soul and spirit, I also honor our humanity, physicality, and egoic structure of the mind. I do go into rewiring our beliefs and processing emotion in my self-study audio program, Her Energetic Code, and we'll be going into all things related to integrating our humanity and divinity in my Soul Connection program, which will be launching in 2022. But today I wanted to touch on compassion, our hearts, and the nervous system. Compassion is key when it comes to having the awareness and acknowledging that our nervous system can sometimes hold us back when we wish to move forward towards our vision or dreams, as it affects how we think, react, and relate to the world. However, I believe we come across these experiences that trigger and affect our nervous system so we can become aware of these old, outdated beliefs, emotions, and reactions. Then we can consciously choose to alchemize them and remain in our hearts and have resilience in our life, so no matter what we face, we can have a sense of balance, inner strength, and be heart-centered. There's a quote that I like which says, "Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom." Now, if we want to embody who we truly are in this human experience, we need to both honor and acknowledge our nervous system conditioning and bring in compassion, unconditional love, and presence so we can integrate the aspects of us that need this love and also allow our essence to soothe and regulate our nervous system so we can move forward standing in our sovereignty. Ultimately, our nervous system is trying to keep us safe and is operating from past experiences that we went through in childhood and reacts to keep us alive, whether this looks like being in a hyper-aroused state by going into a fight or flight response, or into a hyper-aroused state where we feel numb, frozen, we dissociate, etc. We can feel shame sometimes and we don't know why we didn't do something or react differently. For example, if you were held at gunpoint, why didn't I fight back? I just froze. Or you fled a situation and you wish you could have stood your ground, but that flight response kept you alive in the past, so it was your automatic response in this situation. We need to have self-compassion and understand that in those moments we do not always have control over our bodies. It's kind of like we were wired to react in certain situations in a certain way to avoid pain and death. Can we have compassion and see how it was just a natural response we had? And we now have the awareness to begin to operate differently. We can observe ourselves talk and think about how we really want something. However, we may not actually have the capacity to receive it or to do it, as there can be this subconscious resistance to it stemming from our beliefs, our nervous system, and past trauma. Sometimes even when a seemingly small situation or challenge may arise, it can affect us and cause us to react from a dysregulated state because we do not have a wide window of tolerance, aka high level of resilience, Instead, it's very small, so we find it easy to be triggered and react rather than being flexible in the moment. But this is no way to live moving forward. Allowing these conditioned triggers and reactions to run the show will prevent us from really creating, doing, and receiving what is in our highest joy and beyond the limits of our comfort zone. When we become aware of the way we are reacting, we can support our nervous system by being able to self-regulate and let it know that this is not a survival situation. This may be a new experience or appear as something similar to a past experience, but we don't need to operate from a place of trying to survive and not be hurt. We can self-regulate and send new messages and emotions to our nervous system bit by bit. We wish to honor and integrate and love these parts of us, not ignore or resist, and put ourselves in situations where our nervous system is overwhelmed and does not have the capacity to handle a certain situation. When we have a regulated nervous system and we are more resilient, we build up our window of tolerance so we don't get dysregulated as easily. We are able to remain centered. We can think clearly and make good choices that are for our highest good, even when some stresses arise. Now, it's not about always being calm and peaceful, but instead being adaptable and flexible when experiences and situations arise. So, how can we become regulated and resilient so that no matter what arises, we can remain regulated and balanced and in our power, compared to being automatically triggered into dysregulated states and reactions? How can we operate more effectively when stresses arise when we come out of our comfort zone? Having compassion for ourselves and connecting with our heart is beneficial in alchemizing all kinds of thoughts, emotions, and reactions. Simple techniques of doing heart-centered breathing, heart-focused meditations, tuning into renewing emotions and our soul's essence can support us in the moment. We are human beings, therefore we are here to experience all that this life has to offer, which includes survival, having a sense of self and identity, having physical experiences, having conditionings from family and society, experiencing a range of emotions, and going through triggering experiences and situations for our soul's expansion. Compassion can support us in embracing all that we are and all that we have been through, and offers us a loving and nurturing energy. Self-compassion and being able to connect with our heart will allow us to give ourselves the love and presence to acknowledge, honor, and integrate it all. We will see how powerful we are when we go within and tune into renewing energies and our true essence in these moments of dysregulation. Next week, I'll go into some symptoms of being dysregulated and some steps to move towards self-regulation. Much love.